eating this.
How you doing?
Alhamdulillah, how you been, man? What's up with you, man? You got married?
Nah, not yet.
Not yet?
I'm working on it, though.
Allah bless you, man. I'll make it easy. Don't give up, man. Be patient.
Yeah.
Be patient, man. How you been, man?
Doing
Good, good. You look good.
Yeah, you too.
Still got that nice smile, man. What's new?
I work at the Boston Navy with a computer.
How long you been there?
Over 6 months now. And then I got my own place now.
Okay, alhamdulillah. That's good, man. That's good. This is on. Don't forget this. This is on. No, I'm gonna talk to him. I'm just letting you know before you know. And I think that's live too. Right in the film, I'm talking to you, inshallah.
Okay.
I didn't want you to, you know what I'm saying, your personal stuff. That's all.
Yeah, that's good.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. As was announced, Hadith Jibreel, a comprehensive study of the Hadith of Jibreel. A comprehensive study of the Hadith of Jibreel alayhi salatu wassalam. We had the previous speakers, the Mashayikh, Sheikh Farouk Post, Hafidhullah, Sheikh Aqil Ingram, Hafidhullah, Sheikh Abdul Bari Hussein, Hafidhullah Ta'ala. I'm sure in their presentations, their speeches, their lessons, the lectures that they gave you is more than enough of the main concept of this hadith, the main benefits of this hadith, and the practical issues that we take from this hadith on a daily basis, pertaining to what we believe in, to how we offer the salah, to the zakat that we pay on our wealth, to the fasting in the month of Ramadan, to the pilgrimage, to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the sacred city of Mecca, the angels, the last day, the divine predestiny, and everything that's mentioned in the hadith of the usul of the deen. And for this reason, it isn't far-fetched those of the pious predecessors who called this hadith Sunnah. And some of them says, Hiya Fatihat Sunnah. They said this is the foundation, this is the basic fundamental cornerstone of the entire Sunnah, just as Surah Al-Fatiha is the entire cornerstone and foundation of the whole Quran al-Kareem. And all of the meanings, concepts, objectives, and goals of every surah returns back to the general things of Al-Fatiha. Tawheed in all of its types and categories, resurrection, the prophets, the messengers, it's all mentioned in the Fatiha, whether we realize it or not. Those who sit down and have the ability to extract, to deduce Or if you can't do it yourself, at least listen to those who can. And the comprehensiveness of Surah Al-Fatiha. And the same applies to this hadith. The things that you do on a daily basis of the teachings of the Prophet ﷺ are originally extracted and based upon this hadith. So for this reason, some of these people, they call this hadith Fatiha to Sunnah, Sunnah. They says this is the Fatiha of the Sunnah. This is the opening chapter of all of the hadith. The Salah, Zakah, Iman, Tawheed, everything that you do, Jihad fi sabilillah, kullu shay, goes back to the basic teachings and principles of this hadith, explicitly or inexplicitly. So I'm sure my brothers, I'm sure that they did a great job, a thorough job, in shedding light upon that, whether that had hummed. What we want to do, bi'idhnillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we say, just bring up the rear, mopping up, sweeping up. That's it, nothing more. They lay down, alhamdulillah, the bricks, the foundation, that's more than enough. You can stay in the house. We just come on and sweep and mop, make sure that there's no dry paint or nothing like this. That's it. And what we want to talk about, bi'idhnillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala, is a topic that is very important for every single Muslim. Those who aspire to be students of knowledge, those who aspire to be hadith disciples, those who aspire to be ulama, mashaykh, you want to go far, you have aspirations, then you need to make this hadith the apple of your eye, your focal point, bi'idhnillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is the concept of the proper do's and don'ts, the etiquettes, the adab, the manners of seeking knowledge. How to seek knowledge, how not to seek knowledge, who to seek knowledge from, where to seek knowledge from or at, how long should you seek knowledge, when do I become a teacher, when do I have my own class, what do I do when people don't give me the true value, the respect that I deserve, and the list goes on. These things can be taken from this hadith, the hadith of Jibreel alayhi, among many others. By Allah's permission, wallah alhamd, and His grace and His bounty, we have attempted to give show a lot of importance and emphasis on the general etiquettes of a student of knowledge and the specific etiquettes of the student of hadith. As one of the pious predecessors said, من طلب حديث رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقد طلب أعلى الأمور فينبغي أن يكون خير الناس. He says, he who seeks, who goes out to learn and to study these statements and the actions of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he says, then that's the best of the best. فقد طلب أعلى الأمور. He is to be from the elite. And if that's the case, he should have the best character. There's nothing that the people should say about his character. Everybody understand this? And this is something that we benefit directly when we read about the great scholars of hadith, such as Imam al-Bukhari rahimahullah. When you read Imam al-Bukhari's life story, you find there were people who criticized him, those who spoke out against him, those who refuted Imam al-Bukhari on several issues during his lifetime and after he passed away. Some people talked about him as a person, his R.E.D.A, his book, the hadiths, and many things like this. But you're not going to find someone saying Imam al-Bukhari had this problem with his character. He was a liar. He was a womanizer. He was a person he was greedy. He was this, he was that. You're never going to find that. Those who hated Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah and accused him of all type of things, awaim, monstrous mistakes. They said he was this, they said he was that. Some even may take field on him, say he was a kafir. But none of them said that his akhlaq was shabby and raggedy. None of them can come and say that his character was bad and he was like this. But if we look at us today, those who claim to follow their way and to put our feet in their footsteps, before we even get into the criticism, he says, oh, Fulan, he's arrogant, he's conceited, he's stuck up, I don't like him, I hate asking him questions. Fulan is this, Fulan is that, he lies, he always cancels his classes. Fulan is accused of doing this with women, and this with men, and this with money, and mismanaging a slew of attacks just on a person's akhlaq, his manners. That's a serious problem. It's a serious problem. So this reason is why he said that statement. Seeking a hadith is the best of the best. And if you do that, then your akhlaq should also be befitting the best of the best. And oftentimes, while we have so many gaping holes, so many major chips in our frame of knowledge and of teaching and of dawah, it's for one of two reasons. First is, many of us are ignorant and unaware of these manners and these etiquettes. And secondly, many of us, we forget. Or many of us, we're driven by other things to force us not to implement them in the proper manner. So therefore, those who don't know should learn. Those who do know should be reminded. They should be re-educated. Let alone things in which we've been mistaught, miseducated. Things that have been stuffed down our throats that are improper, that are incorrect. So what is the solution? The solution is going back to the direct original source. Going back to the direct original source. We have this book on seeking knowledge, that book on seeking knowledge. Let's go right back to the hadith, the source, the Fatiha. The Fatiha. If you have a problem in your Islam, a flaw in your Islam, go back to the first surah that you memorized from the Quran. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, when you were a young child, when I was in prison, when I came out the nation of Islam, this, and that. What's the first thing you learned from Islam? Was Fatiha. First surah was Fatiha. The meanings of the Fatiha. And rather, many of us didn't actually properly learn Fatiha. Everybody understand this? So I don't think anybody that's fair and impartial is going to reject this. I don't think so. So this also applies to seeking ilm, teaching ilm, giving dawah, and benefiting from dawah. Why is there so much confusion today in the field of dawah? Who do I take from? Who not to take from? Who do I sit with? Who don't I sit with? Well, he said this and he said that. Let's go back to the hadith of Jibreel alayhi salam. And let's see which one of us, speaking to myself firstly, are actually truly upon the way of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, his way. Where he taught his Sahaba, how he sat with his Sahaba, how the Sahaba sat with him, etc. Everybody understand this? So that's what we're going to talk about with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we've given many talks, as we've said before, whether that alhamdulillah, on the etiquettes of seeking knowledge in general, and also on the etiquettes of a student of hadith specifically. Because there are special etiquettes. There are special manners. There's general basic training, and then we have those who are what? Special forces. And they have to be the sharpest and the best. And that is the similitude of the student of hadith. Before we go any further, we have to say that, or let's ask a question. Where do we find the hadith of Jibreel at? Where can we find this hadith in? What book of hadith? 40 hadith. Right, good. Ahsan. 40 hadith is an original book of hadith or summarized compilation. Good. So what's the origin? What's the asl? What original book of hadith can we find this hadith in? In Sahih Bukhari, Muwatta Malik, Sahih Muslim. Right, very good. Who narrated the hadith? What companion narrated the hadith? Ibn Umar? Oh, Umar. Which one? Umar or Ibn Umar? Tayyib. Which one? Umar or Ibn Umar? Raise your hand if you say Umar. Tayyib. Raise your hand if you say Ibn Umar. What's the difference? What's the difference between who narrated it though? Who was there or who actually passed it on to the next person?
One was there.
Oh, both of them narrated it. No? Right. Everyone pay close attention. Mujahid. We have two concepts now. In the sciences of hadith, we have sababul wurud, and then we have sababul tahdith. The first is the reason why the event took place in the time of the Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why did the Prophet say this? This man, this woman, this battle, she complained about her husband, this companion asked for sadaqah. That's why the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said A, B, and C. That's why the companions did A, B, and C. And then we have the reason why the Sahabi, the companion, passed it on to the what? The Tabi'i, his student. Everybody understand this? His what? His student. A Sahabi is somebody who met the Prophet ﷺ, as we all know, as a believer, dying upon Islam. And the Tabi'i is someone who met and studied with the Sahabi. He met and studied with one of the companions. So the Sahabi, he's going to narrate what he saw, what he heard in the time of when? Who? Rasul sallallahu. This man came wearing extremely white clothes, extremely black hair. No one knew who he was traveling, etc. But then was the one who was there, Umar radiallahu anhu, when Jibreel came. Did he pass it on to the next generation of people? You got to pay close attention once again. It's either one or two scenarios. Either the reason behind the hadith was Ustad Abu Anis, right? That was your halaqah. Right. So, either, and I don't think this is the case, either his halaqah wasn't clear, or you didn't truly pay attention to his halaqah. Because he mentioned why the hadith was what? Why it was mentioned. Pay close attention once again. Umar radiallahu anhu, where was he? He sat with who? And the man came that they didn't know who was Jibreel. Right? Who did Umar tell the hadith about? From the tabi'een, not the sahaba. His son. Very good. His son is who? Ahsant. Ibn Umar is from the tabi'een or the sahaba? Which one? Sahaba. So therefore, who passed it on to the tabi'een? Umar or Ibn Umar? Everybody understand this? So, once again, who narrated this hadith? Umar or Ibn Umar? Everybody understand the difference now? Tayyip, let's go back again. Let's make it really, really clear. Tayyip, let's make an example. Tayyip, inshallah. Now, here we have Abu Amir, Imam Khalid, me, and Mujahid. Alright? Mujahid, you're sitting there, alright? I'm sitting with you. Sheikh Habib, come into the masjid, please. Come to the masjid. Go up to Mujahid. Just go up to him. Walk up to him. Talk to him. Sorry. Khalas. Now, everybody clear on this? I'm sitting over there with them. I saw who interact with who. These two brothers interacting with each other. I saw it. Right? Everybody clear on this? Abu Amir, you go outside the masjid right now. Yalla, go. Get out. Ukhruj. Leave. Imam Khalid, please leave. Can't talk to you like that, Shaykh. You got too much gray. Alright, you leave the masjid. Alright, now I'm looking at you two interact, right? A story, something that happened, right? These two brothers were in the masjid or outside of the masjid? They weren't in the masjid. They weren't where? They were not in the masjid. They did not see what? Period. Everybody clear on this? Alright, now you come into the masjid. They come. Now, these two brothers here, did they see what happened, yes or no? At all. At what? At all. So, let's say hypothetically, I'm from, what's the name of this, the town, the specific region? This Gwinnett. Okay. Let's say hypothetically, right? Sheikh Habib, you're from Gwinnett. Mujahid, you're a foreigner. Nobody knows you. And hypothetically, I'm from where? I'm from where? Gwinnett. Imam Khalid is also from? Everybody clear on this? Abu Amir is from Atlantic City. Everybody clear on this? So, neither of the two were present. He's from the same town. He what? He isn't. And I'm from where? Everybody understand this? So I narrate to Imam Khalid what happened. And we're both from where? Gwinnett. But he wasn't? He wasn't there. Then he goes and tells someone from Atlantic City. So the actual narrator of the story is who? No. The narrator of the story is who? Khalid. He passed it on to the brother from Atlantic City. But he wasn't there. But me and him are both what? No, Sahaba. We're both what? Sahaba. But just because I'm a Sahabi doesn't mean I told the Tabi'i. Abu Amir is the he's the what? He's the Tabi'i. So the narrator of the hadith is who? He's the one who passed it on to who? And he heard it from me. Everybody understand this? Sahaba narrate from each other. Ibn Umar was not there. Everybody clear on this? Hypothetically. Everybody understand this? Hypothetically, Ibn Umar wasn't what? He wasn't there. Who was there? Umar. Everybody understand this? Or let's even say, let's say, everybody pay close attention. Let's say both of us were there. Me and Imam Khalid. Umar and Umar were there. But the one who was actually seeing everything was who? Was me. But I did not pass it on to? No. Abu Amir. I didn't pass it on to him. Imam Khalid did. So in actuality, if you say the nitty gritty, the actual narrator is who? Is Ibn Umar. Ibn Umar met how many people? 2. Where did they come from? They didn't come from Medina. No way. They didn't come from Medina. Those 2 people, they came from what country? Iraq, exactly. Why did they go to make Hajj and Umrah? For what reason? Why did they go to Hijaz? What was the purpose of them going to Hijaz? It's a very important concept. We start talking about etiquettes. Why did they go to the Hijaz? Guys, if we don't have this stuff of this hadith, what hadith are we going to truly understand? As he said, how many techniques have you mastered? You do this, you that. How many of them have you what? Actually mastered. Where did they come from? They came from Iraq. Why did they leave Iraq and go to Hijaz to do what? To benefit. Ahsan. To learn from who? La. The Sahaba. To learn from who? The Sahaba. Now, I'm not going to ask you the names because that's going too much. We'll just leave the two names out right now. Two Tabi'een from Iraq. They said, let's go ask the companions about what these people are saying where? In Iraq. About what? About the Qadr. Ahsant. There are people who say that there's no what? No Qadr. Everything's by chance. Allah doesn't know what's going to happen until it happens. There's nothing that's preordained. Nothing. So they knew that was wrong from the teachings of Islam, but they wanted to go benefit from Ahl Ilm. They wanted to benefit from who? From Ahl Ilm. So they traveled. They went to Medina. Who did they meet when they got to Medina? Umar or Ibn Umar? Ibn Umar. They told Ibn Umar about Iraq, about these people. Ibn Umar said A, B, C, D. When you see them, tell them this, tell them this, tell them that. So the actual narrative of the hadith is who? Ibn Umar, and not Umar. Because Umar did not pass it on to the... Everybody clear on this? These two tabi'een who came from Iraq, they took that narration from who? Ibn Umar. Was Ibn Umar necessarily there? Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't. But what we know for sure is that who was there? Umar, his father. Everybody understand this? Everybody clear on this? Is very important when you start getting into the hadith now. Because it has a direct understanding why the hadith was narrated, allows you to actually understand what's to be taken from the hadith. Just like the verses in the Quran al-Kareem. Everybody clear on this? Wa alayhi ikhwani? Man Presley, how you feeling? I was asking about you yesterday. Hopefully he told you. Everybody clear on this? Everybody understand this? Right. So, when we say who narrated the hadith, and we say Umar or Ibn Umar, this is only how many narrators? Two. We should not understand that these are the only Sahaba that narrated the hadith. Rather, there are several other companions who are actually what? There. There were other brothers that were sitting with Mujahid. But the version that Imam Muslim, he collected, was my version. That doesn't mean there was no one else that was sitting with Mujahid and Sheikh Habib. Everybody understand this? And the same applies to this hadith. And that is crucial in understanding the other benefits that you will not find in Sahih Muslim. There are other versions of the hadith that are not mentioned where? In Sahih Muslim. But there are also benefits from the hadith of Jibreel. Hadith of who? The hadith of Jibreel. The story of Jibreel. Everybody understand this? There's certain things that we're going to mention with regards to etiquettes that are not mentioned in the narration of Ibn Umar and his father. And it doesn't mean that they're baseless. But there are other Sahaba who narrated the same story. And Imam Muslim, he chose to collect the version of Umar and his son. A simple example of this is in Sahih Bukhari. The hadith of Jibreel is in Sahih Bukhari. But from the report of R.E.D.A. And there are different details that are mentioned in his version. Just like if there are 20 people sitting in a halaqah, he narrates something, he forgets, he gets up to use the bathroom, he's checking his phone, his memory is sharp, he's worried about his kid, sit down, shh. Everybody understand this? The sister couldn't hear, so on and so forth. So everybody takes a bit and a piece of the story according to what they saw. And, alright, clear this? So if you ask the question, where is the hadith of Jibreel found? What would you say now? Bukhari and Muslim. Everybody understand this? Where is the version of Umar and his son found? Sahih Muslim. Where is the version of Abu Huraira? Sahih Bukhari. Where is the version of Fulan? Other books. Everybody clear this? Everybody understand this? Tayyib. Khairan inshallah. And the sciences of hadith, this concept is called Jam'u al-Turuq. This is taking all of the different versions, variations, all of the different reports and bringing them together. Putting them on the table, sifting through them, and organizing them until it's one complex piece. Corroborating all the reports, this is authentic, this isn't too authentic, this is what happened, and you have a full, clear vision of the whole entire story. Everybody understand this? And this is why many of the people of hadith, they said, Al-babu illam tajma' turuqahu, lam yatabayyan khata'uhu. He says what? That if you don't gather all of the different variations of the report, you won't be clear on what's right and what isn't right. What's sound and what isn't sound. Everybody understand this? Just like a detective. He gets one witness, two witnesses, three witnesses, the evidence, and he does what? All of it. You're lying. That's impossible. You couldn't have been there at 9 p.m. Everybody understand this? So on and so forth. And then he finalizes what is the correct testimony, what is it? Everybody understand this? So the science hadith is a very practical science. It's a science that makes total sense. It's very practical, but it's just proper training that we all have to have, even the layman Muslim. Some basic things that you should know about this. Some basic things. Khayrun inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's move forward. From the narrators of this hadith, we have the following. Number one. First and foremost is Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Got some low batteries. Tayyib. I don't know if we want to recharge this or just go without the microphone. It doesn't matter to me. Batteries coming? Inshallah. Clear, Mujahid? Bother? Alhamdulillah. How you been, Sheikh? Alhamdulillah. Barakallah feek. Alhamdulillah. Good to see you. Allah bless you. You told me about the carpet too. Alhamdulillah. And tennis balls. Official. Tabarakallah. Jazakallah khairan. Shukran. Tayyib. From the narrators, for those who wish to write this down, bid the nice subhanahu wa ta'ala, number one is obviously Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And some may say Abdullah, as we just explained. Number two, or number three is Abu Huraira. Abu Huraira, he narrated this hadith. We mentioned in Sahih Bukhari and others. Number four, Abu Dharr al-Ghifari radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He also narrated this hadith. Then we have Abdullah ibn Abbas. After Abdullah ibn Abbas is Anas ibn Malik radiallahu ta'ala anhu. We have Abu Amir al-Ash'ari radiallahu anhu, another Sahabi. Jarir ibn Abdullah al-Bajali radiallahu anhu, another noble companion. And many others. Some of the ulama say, not all of them, but some of them they say this hadith is mutawatir. Some of them say that this is a hadith that has been reported through mass narrations, many companions, that reaches a certain level that we're not going to get into right now. That's a very long discussion on mutawatir. Khairan inshallah. Let's move forward. The next point that we have to discuss before we actually get into, actually roll up our sleeves is when it comes to etiquettes of seeking knowledge and etiquettes of teaching knowledge, is that there are three types. Number one, etiquettes that are shared between the learner and the master, the sheikh and the disciple, the teacher and the student. There are certain etiquettes that both of them share. Both of them must have. And it is improper for you to say, oh, do this because you're a student. Do that because you're a learner. Do this because you're a da'iyah. And that same advice not being addressed to what? The teacher as well. Number two, then there are etiquettes that are specific to the learner, specific to the pupil, the student, the seeker, whatever term you want to use, the apprentice. You may use other terms too, huh? Tayyib. Number three, we have etiquettes that are specific to the teacher, specific to the muallim, the sheikh, the mentor, the guide. Certain do's and don'ts, etiquettes and manners that only he should deal with. Everybody understand this? Crucially important to understand this categorization. Crucial. The first category is what? Etiquettes that pertain to who? Both of them. Such, raise the right hand. Never the left. Tayyib. Such as what? What's your name, Akhi? Huh? Diyauddin. But what is an etiquette that you think of, Diyauddin, that is for the teacher and the learner? Something that both of them should do. You gotta be quick, Diyauddin. You got a swoosh t-shirt on. Quick. Swoosh is not slow. Swoosh, swoosh. Quick, fast. Patience. Both of them have to be patient. The teacher has to be patient. And the student has to be patient. Even though one of them may need more patience than the next. But both of them must have what? Sabr. Both of them. Fine. Very good. Another example is what? Quick. Humility. The teacher has to be humble. Tayyib. Another one is what? Quickly.
Be on time.
On time. The teacher has to come on time. Allahu Akbar. Tayyib. Anybody else? Anybody else? Quickly. Another etiquette for both, for the learner and the teacher. Respect for each other. The teacher has to respect the disciple. Tayyib. This is getting deep tonight. Khayyid. Anything else? Anything else? That's it? Huh?
Material they using?
The material that they're using. What if there's no material? What if it's all from the heart? The true knowledge. The knowledge that you take into the hammam. As many of the pious predecessors said. The true knowledge is knowledge you take where? In the hammam. You don't take this where into the what? Not saying that it's haram, but it's improper. You want what? You want to take this where, Amir? What? You won't take this in the hammam unless you're afraid somebody's going to steal it. As in Yemen. So you had to take your books into the bathroom with you. That's serious. Oh yeah. Yeah, honestly. Tayyib. Everybody clear on this? So this book you wouldn't necessarily take where? But my heart is what? Everybody understand this? This can be lost, this can be burnt, this can be stolen. Huh? What? My heart is my what? Like Imam Shafi'i said, anywhere I go, if I go to the marketplace, huh? He said the ilm is what? In the marketplace. Everyone understand this? Tayyib. So, well, there's no material. Any other etiquettes of both the teacher and the learner? Before we move any further. Any other? Proper intentions. Both have to have good niyyah. Like, anything else? Ilm. I have to have knowledge to learn from you? What if I come and say, I don't know anything, teach me? Anything else? Before we move any further, what I mean? Alright, let's move on. Let's move. Number 2. Etiquettes that are specific to the learner. Quickly. Number 1. Sabr. They said both of them have to have sabr. Anything else? Specific to the learner. This is all according to you. I didn't say agree or disagree with any of them. Desire. The learner has to have the desire. The thirst, the hunger. Tayyib. Anything else? Intelligence. So the teacher doesn't have to have intelligence. Tayyib. Anything else? Adab. Such as what? Proper etiquette of sitting. Tayyib. Anything else? Nah. The Aldin. Not to raise your voice too high. Tayyib. Anything else? Anybody else? Don't ask too many questions. Tayyib. Alright, let's move on to the third and final type. Etiquettes that are specific to the teacher. Such as what? Knowledge. The teacher has to have knowledge. Tayyib. Anything else? There are many things we're not thinking about. Many things.
So the student really understand what he's saying?
To make sure that the student understands. Tayyib. Anything else? Huh? Bring dalil. Tayyib. Anything else?
Good character.
Good character. Anything else? Wisdom. Hikmah. Anybody else? What about the actual knowledge that he has? What etiquettes does he have with regards to having the knowledge? Giving it to someone, not giving it to someone. Khayr, inshallah. Let's move forward. Let's move forward. Now, before we go any further, brothers, you have to understand that even among these 3 types, those that are shared, it doesn't mean they have to be equal. The teacher may need less patience than the student, or the student may need more patience, dependent. Desire, as you mentioned, it may be more of it needed by the learner and less by the teacher. Everybody understand this? Everybody clear on this? Many other things. So that's another. Just like you have the soundboard, you do what? You mix it. All of the things are not equal, but you have to play with each button. Very important concept here. Tayyib, moving forward. The first benefit we take from this hadith is that which Al-Qurtubi rahimahullah ta'ala said, فيه استحباب جلوس العالم بمكان يختص به ويكون مرتفعا إذا احتاج لذلك لضرورة تعليم ونحوه. فقد جاء في بعض روايات هذا الحديث عن أبي ذر وأبي هريرة رضي الله عنهما قال كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يجلس بين ظهر أصحابه فيجيء الغريب فلا يدري أيهم حتى يسأل فطلبنا من رسول الله أو إلى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم أن نجعل له مجلسا يعرفه الغريب إذا أتاه. قال فبنينا له دكانا من طين فجلس عليه وكنا نجلس بجنبتيه وذكر نحو هذا الخبر فأقبل رجل فذكر هيئته حتى سلم من طرف السماء فقال السلام عليك يا محمد قال فرد عليه النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. The first is that which Al-Qurtubi said regarding this hadith is that it is recommended for the teacher, the alim, whether he's a scholar, quote unquote, a student, al-muhim, the teacher, the one who's giving the knowledge. It is recommended for him to sit in a high place. To sit in a high place. A place that he can be seen and noticed and recognized. That he is the teacher. If this is a need and if this is a necessity. If the people know who he is, that's fine. But if he needs to sit in a chair or a pulpit or something that he can be elevated and above so they know who to ask, who to use proper etiquettes with, so on and so forth. Where do we take this from in the hadith of Jibreel? To sit in a high place. Where do we find this at? He sat in the people. Where does it say he sat in a high place? In Sahih Muslim. Who has the hadith with them? Where does it say that the Prophet was sitting on a high place in Sahih Muslim? It doesn't. So where do we get this from? Exactly. Everybody see the point now? This is mentioned in another variation of this hadith that was reported by Abu Dharr and Abu Hurairah and the Sunan of Nasa'i. One of these six mother books of hadith, one of the 4 books of Sunan. This variation is mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ used to sit on the floor with the Sahaba. And when a stranger would come into the masjid, they didn't know who he was. And that's another benefit that we're going to get to later on about humility. They didn't know who he was. He wasn't wearing anything special. They didn't know who he was. So we requested the Prophet ﷺ, said, "Oh Rasulullah, let us build you something. Let us construct you something for you to sit on. So when someone walks into the masjid, a Bedouin, a nomad, they would know that's the Rasul. I come to declare Islam, me, my tribe. I have a question. I have something that's important." So they said they built for him, he says, a dukkan. They built for him something to sit on. They made it out of clay. They baked some clay for him. They made for him like a little small stoop, a seat for him to sit upon. So anyone that comes to the masjid, they would notice that it's what? The Rasul of Allah. And he says, we sat on the sides of it. Everybody understand this? So this goes to show you, now we have the theory that I gave you, now this is the practice of the theory. This benefit you can't find in where? In Sahih Muslim. But it doesn't mean that it's not from the hadith of Jibreel. Everybody clear on this? Everybody understand this? So this is the first benefit. And this doesn't mean that a person is prideful or a person is arrogant. Just because I'm sitting in a high place doesn't necessarily mean that. Allah elevates whom He wills. Knowledge, Allah, He tells us, He will lift people, He will raise people. Those who believe, those who have been given ilm, He will give them status in this life and in the hereafter. However, the main benefit behind this is for people to what? Recognize. And this leads us to the next etiquette of a student of hadith, of a hadith disciple, and that is what we're going to read. وفيه أنه ينبغي للإمام ونوابه وكذا العالم أن يبرزوا بعض الأوقات للناس لقضاء حوائجهم والنظر في مصالحهم. وفي بعض الروايات هذا الحديث كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بارزا يوم للناس. قال الحافظ رحمه الله أي ظاهرا لهم غير محتجب عنهم ولا ملتبس لغيره. The next benefit is, Allah Akbar, we say what? Is that anyone of leadership, but specifically what we're talking about, someone teaching knowledge, he should be available for the people. It shouldn't be something in which he's hidden and you don't know where he is. You have to hunt him down. You have to go through a secretary, an assistant. You have to go through this, you have to go through that. There should be appointed times in which the student of knowledge, the alim, the scholar, should be what? Available for the people. Not coming to my office, no, where he's actually sitting in front of what? In front of the people. So hypothetically speaking, I'm the imam in this masjid, right? I have my office, I have my times in which I have my classes, the khutbah, the schedule. Aside from all of this, there should be a time in which I come in the masjid, I make salat al-dhuhr, and I sit right there in the corner. I make tasbih, I read Quran, and I sit there. And then people know, oh, that's the imam. I have a question. I have a problem. Can you help me? I want to read a book to you. In which I'm available, what? For the people. Which has nothing to do with the class schedule. It has nothing to do with the appointment times. But a time in which the imam is available for what? For the people. Because people have different needs and they have different levels of needs. We take this point from the part of hadith that says, كَانَ بَارِزًا يَوْمًا لِلنَّاسِ. One day, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu, he was bariz. He was in plain sight in front of all of the people. And also, this part of the hadith cannot be found where? In Sahih Muslim. Rather, this is in other books of hadith. Is that the Prophet sallallahu was not a person that was hidden from the people. So, what do we benefit from this on a daily basis? If you're a student of knowledge, if you're a scholar, if you're a da'iyah, if you're a disciple, whatever title you give yourself, if people can never find you, they don't know where you are, they can't contact you. If I can't catch you on the phone, Mufti, then at least I know I can catch you in your masjid. If I can't catch you in your masjid, I can catch you online. If I can't catch you online, I know where you like to eat at. I know where you go shopping at. There's some time and place in which I can have what? Direct contact to you. And there lies no doubt that the questioner and the learner, he has a haqq upon the one who has knowledge. A little or a lot. He has a haqq upon me. Just like I have rights upon you as well, which we're going to get into. So we benefit that the student of knowledge should make himself available for the people. And only Allah knows how our teachers in Medina, how we benefited from them, not just in the classroom. We benefited from them before class, in the parking lot, walking them to the car, in his office, in his home, in the masjid. There is no, oh, the sheikh is off. Oh, the sheikh is in the Prophet's masjid. No. You walk up to him, ask him a question. If he says, I'm busy, I'm tired, and that's fine. Everybody understand this? But it is the job of the learner to have what? The hunger, the thirst. And it's also his job to be what? Available. Not all of the time. He has his personal things to do. It has to be a structure. People have to respect the knowledge, but it can't be a thing in which we never ever see you. Where are you at? Never. That's a huge problem. And if you do that, know for sure, your knowledge is not going to be benefited from. And what good is it you having money, you take it to the grave with you. What good is it having all of that wealth, you don't spend it. You don't have fun, you don't party, as they say. And knowledge is the greatest wealth. Knowledge is the greatest rizq. What good is you having all of that knowledge and you don't give it to the people? You don't benefit the people. You don't teach the people. It's of no value. Rather, it is a proof against you. It is a what? It is a proof against you. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says about those who have gold and silver, وَلَا يُنْفِقُونَهَا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, and they don't spend it in Allah's cause, فَبَشِّرُهُم بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. Allah says, give them glad tidings, وَلِيَذُ بِاللَّهِ, of a painful torment. On that day in the hellfire, the gold and the silver, it will melt. And it will be placed on their foreheads, on their sides, and on their backs. And it will be said to them, هَذَا مَا كَنَزْتُمْ. This is what you used to hoard. This is what you used to keep for yourself, for your own anfus. فَذُوقُوا مَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْنِزُونَ. Allah says, so taste what you hoarded. And the same applies to knowledge. The same applies to what? To knowledge. Now somebody may say, well, no one asked me to teach in classes. No one asked me any questions. No one asked me to give them any benefits. No one came to me. Everybody understand this? Many people, they may say this. We say what? Is that if you know that